Hello, this is our big question here on Friday's episode of Morning Kickaround. I'm Robert Kerr. He's Jason Davis. Earlier in the week, we reviewed some spectacular attendance numbers in USL 2, the short summer league season league, and got a lot of replies, a lot of folks in the comments, being impressed, but, kind of putting a little bit of a, pump your brakes sort of messaging out there. Promoting and marketing for a 3-month season where there's 6 to 10 home games is a whole different venture than professionalism with a full long season, professional players, and the staff that goes along with it. So we want to dig into how big is the cost gap between amateur and professional soccer.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of us playing a guessing game, all right? Because neither Rob nor I have ever launched a soccer club. Now I know you're intimately involved in local lower high amateur soccer with Oakland County in Michigan, and we appreciate that. And your know-how is going to be, or your knowledge of that is going to be better than mine, directly on the ground, boots on the ground kind of situation. But I think we can appreciate as we kind of consider, because that was the premise of our video. Look at Annapolis getting 12,000 out. Look at McKinney getting 6,000 out. Look at these teams that are doing big things. I saw that the USLW team in Richmond got 4,000 fans out last night for a game or Wednesday night, maybe for a game on a Wednesday. No, it was Thursday. It was last night. Shout out to them. Like, I don't know what that means, right? And our brains as soccer fans who want to see the game grow naturally go to this place of like, well, they should be professional teams. And why are they just move up? Look, if you can get 12,000 out to watch an Annapolis Blues game, why don't just go pro? But it's not as simple as that, is it, Rob? It's definitely not as simple as that.
Yeah, and we have found a resource that's kind of just like a general bullet point overview of all the different things that costs involve. The soccer team is many businesses all wrapped in one. And so step one, the biggest difference, player salaries. In these short seasons that they're playing in USL 2, these are college players or players looking to jump from amateur to pro world. They are not salaried players, or at least they're not supposed to be. But adding player salaries for a whole squad is just an undertaking that I'm sure that not everyone is thinking about. And it says here in this business plan that 50% of a team's total budget could go to player salaries.
I mean, yeah, this is labor costs in any business, Rob. And that's always the first place that any business looks to cut when they're having issues with their budget. They're like, okay, well, we can't change the lease on our space. And obviously for a soccer team, that's a stadium, right? We can't we're locked into a contract. This is what we've got to pay. We've got insurance costs, which are mentioned here. We've got coaching staff. You can't really do much about your coaching. I mean, you could cut a coach, but generally coaching staff is not as much of a drain on your resources as player salaries. So then you're like, okay, well, so labor costs are a big part of this. 50% of a team, and that is obviously the biggest lift for a team like Annapolis, for a team like McKinney. It's all right. And hopefully we get a chance in the very near future to talk to Sean Mann from Detroit City FC, who has done this, right? They went from NPSL to a professional outfit and had to go look around for their league. And by the way, that's also part of this. League membership fees. Joining a league can cost from $1,000 to $10,000 each season. I don't know, and maybe we have people in our chat who might have a better idea about this. I don't know. That's league fee. Everybody's got to pay into the league, right? The league organizes everything. League's the one who puts the schedule out. The league is the one who markets and finds the broadcasting deal or whatever. I mean, you have to pay the league something to keep the league going so the league can do all that work. Marketing, huge. These numbers, I'm not even really vouching for these numbers because I think it depends on the level you're at and what you want to accomplish. But just each one of these things being such a drain. And if you're a lower division team, if you're playing in lower reaches of American soccer, and right now, what are your options, Rob? It's USL League One is the lowest level you can play, right? I mean, MLS Next Pro, I guess you could also do that.
Yeah, so yeah, that would be the jumps that any sort of amateur to pro would be at this point. It was NISA for a short period, but now USL League One
And obviously,
or
you know,
MLS Next Pro, which
the concept around NISA was to limit limit the league costs, limit the amount of stuff you have to pay that isn't your own club, isn't paying things like stadium fees or player salaries or coaching salaries or insurance costs or whatever. That the league was it was a kind of a different idea, and obviously didn't work out, right? And that kind of is a function of the way that NISA operated, that it eventually collapsed because it didn't have, and I hate that this is the case, right? But as I've said before, we're a country where the league comes before the club. I don't mean it's more important, although you could argue that. I mean that you kind of have to have the league structure before you can even go, well, let's have a club here and let's have a club there and let's have a club in this other place. Because without the league structure to hold it all together, it all falls apart. And because we got this late start, nobody goes in American soccer in 2025. Nobody goes, you know what I should do? Start a professional soccer club right now with no idea where it's going to play. Like, you can't do that. That doesn't make it. You have to go to a league and say, I want to put an expansion team in my city. And they go, okay, well, let's vet you. And what kind of investment do you have? And all that stuff. Obviously, Major League Soccer is the biggest financial investment, but it goes down from there. You know, the clubs that we all identify as sort of the the perfect representation of what football's supposed to be, the ones in Europe, those clubs, they were playing as amateurs, got together like, let's start a league. And then they all, they all got into anyway. My point is that the league situation makes a big difference here. And if you're thinking about going pro, you have to meet their standards. You have to meet the professional league standards of ownership for that level. So it's not even just what it costs. It's also probably about finding new investment. Right? This is why it's such a big leap, and it's a great to imagine Annapolis Blues playing professional soccer, but maybe we don't want them to try to do that if it means that they don't make it and they go away.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this subject with Sean, man, when we get him on the show, because he's one of the small handful of folks in this country that have done created a successful elite amateur team and then made them a functional professional side. I'm glad you mentioned what the team wants as well. One of the comments under our USL2 clubs attendance video, Chris Howe _502 brings up a valid point, and I like how there's some balance in the MK Ultra discussion. Chris Howe says the other thing people overlook is what a club wants.
Yes.
Chris says if he hears one more thing about Vermont Green should move up, he's going to lose it. The club doesn't even want to be professional because it wouldn't be a carbon neutral professional league. Most of Hitchcock, like one of the creators behind this and other teams, clubs work because they are amateur. A lot of these clubs work because they're amateur only. As much as I love Annapolis and would love to see them, Denton, Western Mass, and others go pro, it just doesn't seem viable at the moment.
Well, and this is I appreciate that comment. It is limiting for what we can dream. If we see teams, and again, I guess because of what Chattanooga did and because of what Detroit did, we just automatically map that path onto these clubs, like Vermont Green, like Annapolis, like McKinney, like name the amateur clubs that are connecting with their community and their fan base. So we just kind of go, oh, they should be following the same path as these teams. But maybe they don't want to. Maybe the fans don't want it. Maybe it's not the right thing. So then we go, well, we don't have enough good soccer markets at the lower levels to not imagine them as professional teams to help fill up the pyramid that we want to have for pro rel, Rob. That's the issue, right? Like you don't just go, well, Annapolis Blues got 12,000 out for a game. That's great. American soccer's growing, and stop there. You go, Annapolis Blues got 12,000 out for a game. They should go pro so they can be part of the group of clubs that we could argue needs to be in a pro rel system.
Maybe a healthier way to look at it is just be impressed. Like, there is a groundswell. Not just major cities are interested in the game that we all want to see. So maybe might not be those specific clubs that want to go pro, but perhaps it just shows the greater growth and interest
But
outside of Major League Soccer.
and that's great. And again, it's a rising tide lifts all boats situation in American soccer. But also the other problem here is that, okay, so we have an amateur team that is doing big numbers and getting a bunch of attention and connecting with the community and maybe selling a couple of jerseys because they've got a cool look like Vermont green or whatever. What typically happens? I mentioned this league as a business thing that dominates American soccer history. What happens? It happened in Chattanooga, Rob. What happened in Chattanooga?
Another team swooped into the city, and then in their shuffling to try to get into a professional league, they kind of ended up in a league that I don't think that a few years ago they would have put a pin on the board and say we want to be an MLS next pro team. I'm sure Chattanooga didn't want that, and so USL would have to kind of reformat their whole territory rights and all that stuff to allow both of them.
Because we're doing this backwards, right? Where we don't have the pro rail system and we're trying to force one. It gets into this place of like, okay, would Chattanooga FC be better off as an amateur team still? You could argue they might be. You could, I bet you there's Chattanooga FC fans who are like, yeah, I miss those days. I was having more fun there. Or I don't see the end game here as a professional outfit, but because the USL, and no offense to the USL, again, everybody's trying to get their piece here and make American soccer grow in their own way. But because the USL found somebody who wanted to put a team in Chattanooga and they put the Red Wolves in town, now Chattanooga FC has to respond within the market. Otherwise, they're going to get overshadowed and disappear because now there's not enough money coming in to even be a high amateur team anymore. So it's a vicious cycle that we've got in American soccer.
We shall see how it all pans out. Thank you for the comments here on this video here today. Thank you for the contributions both on these previous videos in the Morning Kick Around Discord. The Morning Kick Around, the MK Ultra conversation is enriching with our numbers growing. We crested 2,400 subscribers on YouTube overnight. Great milestone, guys. Let's move towards 2,500. If you want to join, just hit that subscribe button under the screen. You want to join the MK Ultras? That's easy too. $3.99 a month, and the button's right there under the screen.
Yeah, you not only support the show, you get access to the Discord, which is the community that we're building with the Ultras, but bonus content. We are going to make a bonus video right after we're done today. It will only be available to members, at least initially. So if you want to get that, it'll be a very cool little memory hole that we're going to do on this Friday. So join up, become an MK Ultra so you get access to that stuff.
Yep, it's going to be a great time. I've been looking forward to making that video for a while. So be sure to join the MK Ultras to get that bonus content. You can name your own contribution level at coffee.com/morningkickaround. And then you can also find us as a podcast, Morning Kick Around, on your favorite podcast platform, including Spotify, which has us in video form now. So a whole new world. On Spotify has the video version. And then, of course, you can hit us up, email morningkickaround@gmail.com, and find us on social media at mkickaroundx, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Thank you for joining into the conversation. Thank you, Jason, for being you. Thank you, Jenny, for joining us for the Fab Four and helping us push the buttons each and every episode. And then we'll be back on Monday. So until then, everybody, enjoy your soccer.